Joining us now on The Gist is Mother Dolores Hart. Mother Dolores has starred in 10 Hollywood films, notably with Elvis Presley in Loving You and King Creole, but she gave it all up to become a Benedictine nun. Now she chronicles that journey in The Heir of the Heart. Mother Dolores, thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for asking.
Now, we were talking earlier, and I said, we were talking about how the world of Hollywood to Holy Vows, which is involved in your book title, it's a huge jump to go from kind of a self-absorbed world to something that is so selfless. Can you explain a little bit about how that transition happened?
Well, actually, I always wanted to be the actress. That, since I've been a little tyke, that was the one thing, because my family were all in theater world, and it just seemed like a very natural step to me. And when I was in college, a boyfriend sent my photo around to talk about a play that I was in. And in the course of that invited someone from Paramount to come and see the play and invite me for a screen test. So it happened like that. And when I got the part, I mean, it was like one day having your whole world turned around, because it was with a young man named Elvis Presley, who was, at that time, I think he was on what's the name of the show? Anyway, they cut him off from the waist because he was moving too much. Mm-hmm. Well, I was in school and I did not know who Elvis was. So when I met him to start the show, it was very unassuming. I just thought this was another kid.
Another kid, Elvis Presley, another kid. That's quite a first leading man.
Yes,
in Hollywood.
It was indeed. And but we have the first day we had the as they do in Hollywood, we had the last scene shot, which is the kiss. And I can tell you, and after about 3 seconds of the kiss, they said, "Cut." And I, oh my gosh, what did I do wrong? I mean, how can you kiss somebody wrong? And he said, "Your ears are turning red." And I couldn't believe it, because there was the blush. So they had to come around and put, and then they did it again, and they yelled "cut," because he was blushing.
You made Elvis Presley blush. Quite an accomplishment on that.
Well, he was it was his second movie. Mm-hmm. And so he wasn't an old hand at the business yet.
Now, the title of your book, The Heir of Your Heart, that comes from a quote from St. Benedict, and it's also what you've referred to as your call to religious life. Can you explain your relationship to that quote?
Well, that quote is "Ascolta, o figli," the beginning of our rule. Listen, my son and my daughter, to the voice of, listen with the ear of the heart to the voice of the master. And then the rule is another 150 pages. And it's a rule, as I mentioned, that is begun in the 5th century. So the call of St. Benedict is one to a very ancient form of religious life, which is monasticism. And naturally, that's got to be new for all of us in America, because there's not that many monasteries about. And this monastery is very unusual too, because the person who founded it, Mother Benedictus, was an extremely finely tuned lady. She had been a surgeon before she entered. And so she had very thought-provoking, and she was a surgeon as a nun too. She could get into the inside of you very easily.
Well, and you say she kind of continued her career as a surgeon in a way. You also have continued your career somewhat in film. I understand you're still a voting member of the Academy, and of course there was the HBO documentary. How do you balance this life with that while still focusing mostly on your vows?
Well, I think the major point has to be to stay in touch with yourself and with the gift that God has given you. That, I think, we ask that of every young woman who comes. You're not coming here to leave everything at the gate and come in and honor God alone. You bring everything with you, and you learn to be yourself in the presence of your community. God is in the relationship. It's not in a obsolete, you understand what I mean.
Oh, I understand what you're saying. Now,
Yeah.
what was it like to leave behind such a glamorous, like, I mean, we obviously looking in on the world of Hollywood, we look at it and it's fashion designers wearing beautiful clothes and getting to travel the world. What was it like making that transfer? Was there ever a point where you had entered this life and thought, I might have gotten myself in over my head, or was it just automatic?
Oh, yeah. No, about the first 7 years.
That's quite a bit of time, but you obviously have grown and flourished here.
Well, it has been a very wonderful life, and I have learned so much about, I guess, myself and about life itself. You don't enter a monastery not to look at life. You enter the monastery to understand life at its depth.
Now, as I mentioned, you did 10 films, TV shows. You won a Tony. Very successful career. And yet you gave it all up. What might you say to some people who are already successful in their chosen careers but might be ignoring a call to God? They might be very high up in a company or something and they've pushed it to the back of their head because they realize, no, I've already achieved success here. I can't start over again. What would you say to them if they were looking at that?
Well, I don't think that finding God is starting over again. It's finding wherever you are the reason that you love someone or love a job, or because what awakens your own inner being to use your life well is the major way of starting to pray. And I think a lot of reasons people in the world feel out of it is because they haven't come in themselves. Because you can be very successful and very happy and very miserable at the same time. We're very complex human beings.
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Mother Dolores, for speaking with us today. The book is called The Heir of the Heart, An Actress's Journey from Hollywood to Holy Vows. And definitely you might want to pick that up at the bookstore. Thank you, Mother Dolores. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. I'd love it if you read.